Good morning and welcome to another Christmas moment from Ascension Lutheran Church in Citrus Heights. I'm Pastor Scott and I'm coming to you this morning from our sanctuary where we gather for worship every Sunday morning. Happy New Year! It's New Year's Day, the first day of 2023. It's hard to believe that a full year has passed already and hard to believe that it's 2023. It seems like just yesterday we were worried about Y2K. Now, for those of you who weren't aware of what was happening in the year 2000 because perhaps you were too young, when the calendar turned from the 1900s to the year 2000, there was great concern that these computers that we had begun to rely upon for so many things in our lives would just freak out, that if they hadn't been set up to acknowledge a year that began with 20 instead of 19. And so there's great conjecture about what systems would stop working when the clock struck midnight. I remember that New Year's Eve and the clock striking midnight. I was here in California celebrating, and as we watched the year turned to 2000 in Australia with great apprehension and concern to see what happened there, knowing that we would have a 12 to 15 hour head start on maybe last minute preparations for to accommodate any impact that the new year was having. Well, they celebrated the clock striking 12 in Australia and nothing happened. Little to nothing. There was no need to be concerned about the new year coming. And that has been, or should have been, something of a lesson to us. On this New Year's Day, we continue to read from the Gospel according to Matthew, immediately following yesterday's New Year's Eve reading from Matthew chapter 2, verse 7. Then Herod secretly called for the wise men and learned from them the exact time when the star had appeared. And then he sent them to Bethlehem, saying, "Go and search diligently for the child. And when you have found him, bring me word so that I may also go and pay him homage." It sounds like Herod wants to worship Jesus. But when we remember what we read yesterday about Herod and all of Jerusalem fearing the news that Jesus had been born, it becomes clear that by Herod's later actions that what he was afraid of were the changes that Jesus' birth might bring about. Change is hard. It was hard for Herod to imagine what might change as a result of Jesus' birth, and I think for most of us, thinking about changing is difficult. On this New Year's Day, some of you, maybe many of you, might be making resolutions, commitment, promises to do something different, to get healthier, to finally finish painting that room that you've been meaning to paint, to finish the degree that you've been working on, to lose some weight, to attend more closely to your spiritual life, to begin going to worship. I don't know what changes you would like to see or hoping to see, but I do know that even those positive changes can bring about fear in us. I've read somewhere, many places I suppose, that change requires, that new habits require repetition. I've heard that you need to do something anywhere from 18 times to 250 times for it to become a habit. But what is clear, regardless of how many times you need to do something, is that you need to repetitively do something before it becomes a habit. And to change a bad habit into a good habit requires intentionality. Today is day 8. I got to keep track. Day 8 of the season of Christmas. If you've joined us every day so far, you are well on your way to creating a habit. You've demonstrated that you have what it takes to create a habit. And what it takes, and probably the most challenging part, is beginning, is that first day. In addition to being New Year's Day, today is also Sunday. So we are preparing for worship, perhaps while you were even watching or listening to this video. We are preparing to gather for worship right here in the sanctuary at Ascension Lutheran Church. 10 o'clock Pacific Standard Time. And I would encourage you to start that new habit today. If you can join us in person, please do. If you can join us online and that works better for you, please do. If you're too tired from having stayed up too late last night, I understand. But maybe make a plan or create some intentionality about attending worship with us next Sunday. Again, whether it's in person or online, we'd love to have you join us for our worship service as we give God thanks for all that God has given and continues to give to us. Whatever it is you're committing to change this year, I pray that you include a deepening of your relationship with God in that commitment, because I think that those commitments stand the best chance of happening. It's a pleasure to spend a part of this first day of the new year with you, and I look forward to spending some time with you again tomorrow for another Christmas moment.